Again, Andy with Handy Andy Handyman, and welcome back to an inspection repair bid that we're doing for one of our real estate clients over in the Marietta area. And this homeowner has done a pretty good job of trying to keep up on their house. And so on this one, we're actually on the listing side of this. So we're working for the sellers on this project. So the last people that painted the house just painted over rotted wood. And so when you come in, this is the front bay window. And so in a repair bid like this, we're only looking at the items that the inspection report and the amendment to repair has called out. So here, when you see this wrinkle in the wood right here, you know that it's rotted through. It's rotted into the inside frame, and they've got a little bit of the same issue here on the right side. It's soft. The nose is good, so we'll make these repairs here. Where we differ than what the buyer's agent is calling for, you never want to put permanent trim in a position like this. So they called for PVC trim or hardy trim, and the problem with those trims is that once you install them in areas like here, if the water ever gets behind it, like this area right here behind is susceptible to getting water behind it. The same with the bay. If there's a leak up here in the bay area, it'll come down through, and by the time this, if it were permanent trim, so to speak, maintenance-free trim, by the time that fell off the house to let you know you had a problem, instead of a $90 or $120 repair, now you've got a $10,000 or $20,000 repair. So we never use permanent trims in these repairs. And so you want to know when you're looking at this trim that, yeah, it's soft to your touch. That means the caulk failed somewhere. And it's something as innocuous as this right here in the frame area. You see that black line? Let you know that it's gone. So same thing here. You can see where the inspector pushed in here. You see the wrinkling in the wood. So this top 1x6 would be replaced. The difference with us is any wood that we replace is back primed and sealed all the way around. So you can see the rot in the right side angled corner board right here. And this lower panel, we would actually replace the panel with hardy panel so it won't rot anymore. But we back prime and seal even our hardy panel because it will absorb water and moisture. It's a little harder to video it, but in the center panel, you get the same issue here. The left and right brick molds are both rotted. The left and right angled corner boards are rotted. And then the center panel right here is rotted as well. On this one, the painter's made a horizontal repair right here that's already started to rot and is trapping water. You want it angled at a 45-degree weather cut is what we call it, and then back prime and seal it, it'll never rot again. So that's the rot here. The other issues are a little bit of rot in the back of the house, and then the home inspector called out some issues with the deck. Most of these things that are on this inspection report are all typical repairs that we see every day, and one of the reasons that realtors use Handy Andy so much is that we do all of it. So you're not having to get in here and get different contractors for the electrical, the plumbing, or the carpentry, or the deck repairs. We do all of it. And we've done it for years. There's thousands of videos online. The inspector called out here that the chimney wasn't caulked adequately at the siding and the corner board, so they'll come down and just clear caulk that. This tree back here, it's hard to see it, but he wants 8 foot clear from the roof line, so we need to trim this back side and trim this side here over the chimney area as well. When you get to the deck, he's got a couple issues with it, and one of them, hopefully you guys can negotiate it away, is on the selling side, because you just don't want to do it. We'll give you a price for it, but he's correct. They're missing a few bolts in here. You can see they should be about 16 inches off center, 16 to 24 off center on a single story deck like this. And you can see they've got one here, and then there's nothing in here until you get back over here. The reason they did it that way is these probably aren't even bolted. These are probably lag screws that someone forced through. They rebuilt this deck at some point, and the drywall in here is a ceiling. It's a hard drywall ceiling, so you're gonna have to cut and patch that ceiling to toggle these bolts and get them set. So the other issue that he had in here, you can get around it by adding screwed in joist hangers all the way through here, and that's what I would do in lieu of adding these bolts. You've got nice 6x6s here, and it looks like the last time that someone inspected this house, probably for the current owners, they made them add this beam support down here, and even though they're set on concrete blocks, which we don't want drainage blocks, we want them actually set into the ground, it's doubled out with a 6x6 at the outside rim board. So you've got more than adequate support in this area. Where the inspector called it out was over here, where you're cantilevered out of this bay window. You can't have it supported by one deck post. Again, that was probably added at the last inspection, and at one point they had stairs going down this way. When they rebuilt the deck and added this area here, they did away with the steps here and then moved them over here. So what we would do here is we'd run about a 12-foot brace and beam post assembly here to support the deck at the bay window. And the reason for that is we don't know how it can adequately be supported in this sealed up cavity underneath the bay. And that's really what that's about. And then on the back side of the steps back here, we would add another brace and support right here in this area, set in concrete, similar to what they've done here to support the stairs. And then the other thing the inspector called out on the back side of the deck was all of these notch posts need a bolt driven through and screwed on the inside. So we need to add 6 of those here. And that'll pretty much take care of the issues that he had with the deck. And then up on top of the deck, he wasn't really clear on what he was calling out. So we've got some rotted fascia board right here. He called out rotted trim on the rear bay. And then this little section of 5/4 board right here. So again, on those trim areas, everything is back primed and sealed. And then it wasn't on the list, but the sellers had asked us on the other side of the deck. You can see where I think somebody cut through maybe to reach a bird feeder, or I'm not really sure. But we can replace that panel and the lower panel with black fiberglass, which is what this is for screening. And then we're not going to charge them for it, but one of the things you look for in repairs, this is the rear bathroom window. See that horizontal cut right there? It's just going to trap moisture and rot it out, so we'll replace that at no charge for them and put an angle cut. My guess is the painters did that last. It was a great house. We do a ton of these things. My brother and I, we got a crew of 30 running all over Metro Atlanta. So feel free to call us. You can catch us at 770-912-2829 in the office, or you can catch me personally sometimes at 770-265-9017. We pretty much do everything, have for years. Just be patient with us. That's the only caveat we ever say with using Handy Andy. We have a new division doing the smaller stuff, so you can actually now book us for 2 hours at a time, and the guys will come out prepared to do the work. So that's pretty cool, to hang ceiling fans or change light fixtures or paint a room or all that little stuff that nobody ever gets to. But this is a great, just a little bit of tweaking. And like I said, pretty typical stuff in terms of this inspection. We'll see you at the next house. Bye for now.